Abuja, the place that unites Nigeria.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone.
When the day is Wednesday, we clear the table to take news from NTA's top table. Tonight's menu has its assorted condiments from different parts of the country. The Federal Executive Council this week focused on boosting power supply while the battle against COVID-19 continues with creative efforts in Ondo State. Nigerian women also have a reason to cheer, courtesy of a huge fund from Afrexim and Nexim banks. Also tonight, it is a case of different strokes in the transport sector. The federal government has approved a memo from that ministry while in Oshun. There is a unique code introduced to monitor transport operators in Jigawa. However, it is a case of the ancient blocking the modern, as stray camels are battling for the right of way in that state. Don't take my word for it. Just strap in your seatbelt for a news ride on News Extra. I am Fatima Umaruba. Good to have you join us. The Federal Executive Council has approved over 10.7 billion naira for the design, manufacture and supply of the 4 power substations in Damaturu, Patiskum in Yobe State, as well as Biu and Maiduguri in Borno State, to boost power supply in the country. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports on this and other resolutions of the FEC meeting.
The Federal Executive Council meeting, which was presided over by the Vice President, Professor Emion Shibajo, was held virtually with far-reaching decisions. Briefing newsmen shortly after the meeting, the Minister of Power, Saleh Maman, told journalists that the 2 memos were submitted and were all approved.
1. Approve the payment of the claims and the variation of offshore and onshore costs of the existing contract for the construction of 1 by 150 MVA 331, 32, 33 kV substation at Damaturu and 1 by 330 kV line by extension at Gombe.
The Council has also approved the contract for the supply of 4 fabricated substations of power transformers with complete accessories for deployment to Damaturu and Potiskum in Yobe State, as well as Biu and Maiduguri in Borno State, for the sum of about 10.7 billion naira for the whole projects. FEC has also approved a memo by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Shamsuna Ahmad, of 316 million naira for enhancing the performance of what she called Project Lighthouse, which serves as a data engine that collates, integrates and analyzes data from revenue-generating agencies in order to create insightful information for improved decision-making. The project, the minister said, was conceptualized in 2019 and has so far aggregated about 5.2 trillion naira worth of debt for the country and recovered about 50 billion naira.
Project Lighthouse has brought together data from the FRS, the Nigerian Customs Service, the Corporate Affairs Commission, as well as data from BVN in one central point. We also were able to get data from 3 states, land registry data from the FCT, from Kaduna State, as well as from Lagos State, and other states will also be joining in the second phase.
The Ministry of Aviation had a memorandum that was approved, and this is a contract for the provision of airport management solution for the international airports of Abuja and that of Lagos and Kano, Port Harcourt, and also Enugu, in the sum of 10,594,057,000 618 naira and 20 kobo, and to be completed in 12 months.
Two memos presented by the FCT Ministry were approved. The first memo is the approval for the contract for the provision of engineering infrastructure to a section of Asokoro district known as Abubakar Koko Street. The second contract approved is the contract for the construction of a 14.7 kilometer dedicated power line from the existing newly completed Kukuaba 132/33 kVA transmission station in Kukuaba district of the FCT.
The Federal Executive Council observed a minute's silence in honor of two former ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria who died recently in passings of late Muhammad Umar Baba, who was a one-time Minister of Petroleum Resources, as well as Bode Olo Boroku, who was a one-time Minister of Science and Technology. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Meanwhile, 5 memos were approved for the Ministry of Transport to include a memo for the award of contract for the procurement of modular tamping machines at the cost of 630 million naira for the Nigerian Railway Corporation. Again, State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Briefing journalists on transportation, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the essence for the procurement of modular tamping machine is to strengthen the safety of the job.
This machine is for immediate use in Agbo. The second memo was a memo asking for council's approval for the award of contract for the procurement of one reach stacker, the sum of 247,062,708 naira. This is for the benefit of the National Inland Waterway Authority for its Lokoja River port.
The council has also approved the contract for the procurement of 2 power cars to be used on the narrow gauge for the provision of electricity for locomotives of the Nigerian Railway Corporation at the cost of 1.6 billion naira.
There's another memo by the Ministry of Transportation which sought council's approval to seek council's approval for the award of contract for the removal of wrecks along the Badagry Creek from Tinkan Island to Navy Town, Lagos State, in the sum of 3,557,955,266 naira 40 kobo.
The minister also seeks for the council's approval for the construction of a 1,000-seating capacity international conference center for the Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology, Zaria, at the cost of 902 million naira, expected to be completed within 4 weeks. This is to enhance work performance of the NITT in line with the global best practices and to meet its growing population. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And the decision of the federal government to commit the sum of 765 billion naira to social investment program in year 2021 stems from the positive impact of its various intervention schemes in the past and the desire to grow the number of beneficiaries to 100 million Nigerians. Adeni Taiwo got up close and personal with some beneficiaries of the empowerment interventions and now reports.
Poverty and high rates of unemployment are two socio-economic realities that can create a lot of imbalance in any society. The federal government was obviously mindful of this truth when in 2016 it launched various schemes targeted at promoting self-reliance and providing safety nets for the vulnerables in the society. In the last 5 years, special intervention components of the National Social Investment Program, such as home school feeding for pupils in public schools, conditional cash transfer to the poorest of the poor, trader money, and NPA have addressed specific mandates with positive results.
The total of 9 multiplied by...
Apart from being a couple, Matthew and Mary have few other things in common. They both teach at a family-owned private school, leveraging teaching and management skills they acquired during their 4-year stint as beneficiaries of the federal government Youth Empowerment Program, NPA.
Those knowledge acquired during that time, I'm able to transfer them into what I'm doing presently. And it has really helped in improving the business I'm having currently.
Taught a lot of things about the school records, how to handle them.
Although they are no longer on the payroll of the federal government, Matthew and Mary want the federal government to not only sustain the intervention, but also fine-tune it.
They promise us that we'll never go back to the streets. We are still holding firmly to that.
Even as government works to expand the program with the induction of additional 500,000 beneficiaries into batch C of the scheme, federal government agencies are giving more meaning to the investment with technical support.
We even have what you call the cluster resettlement, where you put them together, get a place for them, and they start their businesses.
They're acquiring a technology. They are giving a startup sum of money.
A minimum of 100,000 for each participant.
Apart from Empire, which the likes of Matthew and Mary described as a necessary stopgap, other packages such as Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program and 75 billion naira Youth Investment Fund are also touching lives. In Lagos, Adini Taiwo, NTA News.
Raising the economic status and social well-being of Nigerians through various programs for poverty alleviation by the federal government is adjudged as a major singular strive that is gradually transforming Nigeria from being a consumer society to a productive nation. This, experts say, is a sure way of uplifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. And Abubakar Usman Apanga has the report.
With a population of more than 200 million people, Nigeria, like other developing countries, is said to be grappling with poverty and other social problems. To address the issues, the federal government in 2016 launched the largest social investment structures in Nigeria's history.
You can enter what they call Direct Credit Facility. You can enter what we call AGNIS. Is for agri-business and other related SME loans. We have also Ankoboras. And recently too, we are doing investment in youth. We have what we call Youth Investment Scheme. It's actually targeted at youth so that youth can be employed.
To a large extent, I want to believe that the bouquet of programs, they properly impacted the economy, properly impacted the targeted community, and we can compare this to what we used to have, before 2015, 2016, when this bouquet of programs, were rolled out.
The impact of these programs are documented to have spread across the country in education, skills acquisition, microfinance lending, school feeding and nutrition, as well as agriculture.
Look at also indigenous solutions to this. How did China lift 700 million people out of poverty within a short period of time, even to the admiration of their detractors?
This is by far the most ambitious investment of any government in our country targeting poverty and poverty alleviation.
The discussants say federal government has kept faith in the execution of social investment programs, empowering more Nigerians, containing restiveness and rejuvenating economic activities. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Better times are here for Nigerian women, as they would be part of the beneficiaries of a huge fund, courtesy of the Africa Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, and the Nigerian Export-Import Nexim Bank. Both banks are in partnership to mobilize a $50 million project preparation fund, which provides technical assistance to bankable small and medium enterprises, including those promoted by women and youths, in a bid to consolidate on the economic recovery process. Leah Katung Babatunde reports that the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talon, is excited.
Women are often tagged with poverty, and the World Economic Forum in the new report finds that the coronavirus pandemic has widened the gender gap by a generation, and closing it will take concerted efforts by policymakers around the world.
My shop was closed for 3 months. My shop was closed. No business, nothing. I was just sitting at home.
Based on the current trajectory, women would have to wait another 135.6 years up from 99.5 years in 2020 to achieve overall parity with men. Afreximbank is leading a campaign to raise $50 million to promote value chain activities for women and youth in Nigeria. Minister of Women Affairs Pauline Talent, who is appreciative of efforts made so far in combating issues confronting women, say more still needs to be done.
The government of Nigeria recognizes that women's economic empowerment is not only important in its own right, but it is also smart economics, with the potential to bring about broad-based growth and poverty alleviation at the national level and state level.
Towards providing technical assistance to increase pipeline of bankable projects, particularly from SMEs where the women and youth have their businesses.
The facility is designed to increase women and youth participation in the global agro-export market so the small business owners like Mary can laugh again. In Abuja, Leah Katung-Babatunde, NTA News.
Well, as a woman that I am, I'm also excited. Synergy aimed at achieving tolerance, unity, peace and national security form part of the reasons for the visit of Chairman Plateau State Council of Chiefs and Wongwom Jos Ada Jacob Yang Buba to the Emir of Dutse, Nuhu Mohammed Sanusi. Ibrahim Bellogunda has the details.
It is a fact that traditional leaders are more closer to the people, particularly at the grassroots level. For this reason, many believe the traditional institution plays significant role in national peace and stability. This was played out when Emir of Dutse, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, received his Jos counterpart, Bongom Jos, Da Jacob Yang Buba, at his palace in Dutse. During the meeting, the royal fathers discussed issues bordering on peace, unity and security in the country.
We can live in peace if we respect each other, and traditional institutions play a significant role in promoting peace.
Our people, we expect, will take cue and learn to live in peace. Divisiveness is not going to help anybody to grow.
The visiting monarch was taken around the historic Dutse Museum and the golf sporting field established by the Emir of Dutse. From Dutse, Ibrahim Bellogunda, NTA News.
So a bit on judiciary now. The judiciary, as the third arm of government, has taken up the task of dispensing justice with vigor, although the reasons behind some judgments are sometimes questionable. A roundtable organized by the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption is looking at ways and means of improving the reliability of judicial pronouncements. Olabode Arewa, how's that?
Since independence, courts have played strong roles in shaping the direction of the society through legal pronouncements. Litigants and members of the public sometimes do not understand why the courts take such decisions, leading to mistrust. This virtual meeting of like minds in the judicial sector seeks to formulate a proper philosophy that would guide jurisprudence in the law courts.
The burden is on us to raise the standard for society and to make sure that society comes up to that standard.
It cannot be gainsaid that the moral and intellectual quality of the individuals who occupy judicial office is central to the quality of justice which any system will deliver. It is critical that only the most excellent and incorruptible minds are appointed to the bench.
Therefore, much as we are complaining about judges that are bad, we should be able to commend judges that are very good.
The alleged compromise notice in the judicial sector was laid at the feet of legal practitioners. The forum illustrated the need for a truly independent, impartial, and just judiciary.
The only thing you can leave behind is your name, your integrity, your fame for what you have done
The Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption is spearheading the President's reform agenda in anti-corruption, working towards changes in the justice system. This is the first edition of the program. Olabodarewa, NTA News.
Thank you, Olabadi. Up ahead on News Extra, the African initiative embraced by Nigeria that guarantees better life and financial inclusion for women for the next 10 years. Cheering, isn't it? Well, details of this and trending health-related stories that are a must-watch. Please stay.
Hey guys, making music for you is so easy for me to do. But you know what else is super easy to do? Linking your NIN to your Glow line by dialing *109*NIN hash. Or I can call 109 from my Glow line and follow the instructions. And if I don't want to call, I can text my NIN to 109. I can even visit glowworld.com/NIN. And what if you've forgotten your NIN? All you have to do is dial *346# and Glow will help you remember it. Someone may ask, what if I haven't registered? All you have to do is go into the nearest Glow World and we'll help you register. It's that easy. So don't get disconnected from all of the amazing voice and data offers from Glow. Linking your NIN to your Glow lines is simple, safe, and 100% free with zero hassles.
A bunch of broomsticks symbolize immense strength in unity of numbers. APC, unarguably the largest political party this side of sub-Saharan Africa, strategically chose the broom to convey all that the party stands for. Unity, strength, and diversity. In the APC, everyone matters. President Muhammadu Buhari are making giant strides in the areas of infrastructure, such as railways, road networks, strategic bridges, more schools, hospitals, provision of funding for agriculture and SMEs. No administration has made so much investment in youth, women, and people living with disabilities. Take a stand today. Welcome to the APC.
This message is sponsored by the caretaker chairman of the All Progressive Congress and the executive governor of Yobe State, Alhaji Mai Malabuni.
Hi, my name is Miss Pinta, and as your lesson teacher, I am very excited that every one of you writing the next WAEC or NECO has the potential to come out bagging straight A's. All thanks to the all-new School Aid app. Yes, the School Aid app is live now. This app is going to make learning for senior secondary school students easy and fun. So what are you waiting for? Just open your Google Play Store or Apple Store, download the app, register, and boom! We have all the materials you need to make studying easy and convenient. Plus, you can also study offline too. To learn more, visit www.schoolaidapp.com. School Aid App, we aid you to success.
Ames Media Company Limited, in collaboration with National Broadcasting Commission, presents Digital Switchover 3.0. Focus on the technical requirement for digital switchover. Special guest of honor, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture. Guest of honor, Malam Yakub Ibn Mohammed, the Director General of NTA. Guest speaker, Engineer Edward Amana, Chairman, Digitim. Panelist, Mr. Tunde Aino, the Chief Operating Officer of Star Times. Mr. Maxwell Loko, Member, Digitim. Chief Host, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission. Host, Dr. Ahmed Tunde, Chairman Board of Directors, Ames Media. The webinar will be moderated by Aja Amina Muhammad, MD, Ames Media Company Limited. Proudly supported by NTA, Neonorance, MQuan, ITPAN, NANTAP. Date, Thursday, 1st of April 2021. Time, 10 a.m. via Zoom. Ames Media, truly turning your dreams into reality.
I dey look for pension fund administrator. We soft, make sense, we care for me. Shy. No be the type when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no. The brand is sure them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Yes, customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try, of course. Profitable investment. Everything is just a blend. If you don't get it good for you, my guy, make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
National Examinations Council, NECO, has commenced registration for the 2021 National Common Entrance Examination for admission into Federal Unity Government Colleges. The registration, which is online via NECO's website, www.neco.gov.ng, attracts a fee of 2,500 naira per candidate, payable through NECO's Treasury single account. Candidates must be final year pupils and not less than 10 years of age by September 2021. The exercise closes 29th May 2021 at 8 a.m., same day of the examination. For further information, please visit our website or any NECO office nearest to you. Announcer, Registrar, Chief Executive, NECO, Professor Godswill Obioma.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. If the farm say you sabi, you want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself,
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the attempted coup in Niger Republic, saying any illegal effort to dispose a democratically elected government is not only despicable, but also unacceptable to democratic governments around the world. Speaking in a telephone conversation with Muhammadu Yusufu, his counterpart and outgoing president, on the situation in Niger Republic, President Buhari warned that the international community is hostile to the change of government by violent and unconstitutional means. It is utterly naive to attempt the removal of an elected government by force. Military political adventure should respect the will of the people and respect constitutional order. I am particularly concerned about the negative impact of coup on African stability, peace and progress. Nigeria cannot be indifferent to these dangers to Africa. Coups are out of fashion, and the involvement of the military in violent change of government is doing more harm than good to Africa, the president said. The Nigerian leader urged African leaders to remain united against coup under whatever guise or form, warning coup plotters to learn lessons from history on the consequences of instability caused by violent takeover of governments. President Buhari also used the occasion to congratulate the President-elect Mohamed Bazoum on his election victory and the outgoing president's commitment to orderly and peaceful transfer of power. The Nigerian leader also applauded the Niger's security forces for suppressing the onslaught against the democratically elected government of the people of Niger Republic. It is now a new dawn for Nigerian women as the federal government is creating an enabling environment for women and girls, including those in the rural areas. This was contained in a message by President Muhammadu Buhari at the domestication and implementation of the new decade 2020 to 2030 of African women's financial and economic inclusion. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
Survey conducted by the World Bank shows that about 70% of African women are excluded by financial institutions or are unable to meet adequate conditions to access financial services. It is in a bid to break these barriers that these key players converge on the State House for the domestication of the new decade agenda of the African Union. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by the FCT Minister Mohamed Musa Bello, said the move is in response to the United Nations agreement to establish institutional mechanism for women advancements.
The administration will no doubt support the voices of women in the ongoing constitutional amendment process in Nigeria to address the issues of quota and affirmative action in the appointment of women.
First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari represented assured Nigerian women and girls of full implementation of the agenda.
The inclusion should look downward to the grassroots and look at those women, rural women, and their needs.
We must commend President Muhammadu Buhari for the support he has given women by giving 45% of the SMSE programs strictly to women.
AU ECOSOC and Dromi Foundation are the driver of the domestication.
We intend to achieve, 1, challenges faced by women in the agriculture and mining sector that affect their productivity.
We also seek for guidance on how a dedicated bank can be established for Nigerian women and get child for easy accessibility.
The forum wants other African countries to replicate the model and maximize investment in women from all fronts. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Nigeria can now effectively fight human trafficking and other criminal tendencies in the country, especially as they affect the female gender. This follows the launch by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons of a gender policy document, the implementation strategy in Abuja. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday again reports.
Investigations show that one of the major reasons human trafficking occurs in traditional Africa is due to gender discrimination, which Goal 5 of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations aimed at eliminating. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, is optimistic that the launch of the NAPTIP gender policy will address gender gaps and contribute to the realization of the central goals of the national gender policy.
The launch of NAPTIP's gender policy will complement the agency's operational strategies to curb gender-based violence and address gender gaps where they exist within the agency's internal operations.
We recognize that most trafficked persons have limited education or limited appreciation of the documents that are presented before them. Education is key.
The NAPTIP boss said the agency now has a renewed vision.
This would help us to look into with a closer lens to areas that we have not worked on, to promote a gender-sensitive environment that addresses forced migration and also trafficking.
To make the policy an implementable document, we also have an implementation plan which has been developed and finalized together with the policy.
The forum agreed that gender equality is not only a fundamental human right, but a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Now, with the rank of 2-star general being the highest attained by a woman in the Nigerian military, voices at the official launch of the gender policy for the armed forces of Nigeria are calling loudly for women to reach 3- and 4-star general status. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani reports.
Having 4 chapters reviewed by Professor Ekundayo Ocholi, the gender policy of the armed forces exposes lapses in the areas of recruitment, budget, gender-based violence, and other issues with a view to resolving them.
The crux of this resolution aims at ensuring that women and their society needs are safeguarded through increased emphasis on granting access to opportunities in all spheres of human endeavors, including the military.
With the rank of 2-star general being the highest attained by a woman in the military, voices are calling loudly for women like Commodore Jamila Malafa of the Nigerian Navy and Brigadier General Catherine Thomas, the gender advisor of the Nigerian Army, both 1-star generals, to reach 3- and 4-star status.
A policy of this nature had a propensity of opening up opportunities not only for the female personnel but also for the children aspiring to join the armed forces.
Experts say women in the Nigerian military constitute less than 35% of the workforce, but the military says it is working to increase this number, as outlined in the gender policy.
At a crucial time of challenging security situation in Nigeria, and it would be an added impetus in resolving the security challenges facing the nation.
The SND policy is clear. Give the women the opportunity.
The 4-chapter policy is modeled on international standards of gender mainstreaming and seeks to remove obstacles preventing women from reaching 3- and 4-star general status, and with voices calling more loudly. Perhaps one of these women, some of them generals, might just become the service chief in the near future. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
We hope so soon. Do you know that Nigeria is among nations with highest rates of child malnutrition? A sad one, I must say. Well, so says a UNICEF report. Now, nutrition experts and other key players in the health sector are garnering advocacy towards mainstreaming the prevention and treatment of severe acute malnutrition in the Nigerian health system in order to reverse the trend. Oluseyi Adiagbo was at an event held virtually to that effect.
According to UNICEF, malnutrition is the rate or underlying causes of 45% of all deaths of under 5 children, and in its 2020 Global Nutrition Report, Nigeria was rated as the country with the second highest burden of stunted children in the globe, with an estimated 13.9 million children, next to India. But this issue of malnutrition and other nutrition-related issues have continued to be of public health concern in the country, with experts and other key players exploring different strategies towards changing the narrative. One of such is the implementation of a project on advocacy for the prevention and treatment of severe acute malnutrition (SAM) in Nigeria by this consortium of 4 organizations.
Nutrition is a critical component of our well-being and the health of individual. It is necessary not just for growth, but it is very important for the cognitive function.
We need to also empower women so that they can be socially stable.
For the Minister of Health and Governor of Gombe State, continued partnership with relevant organizations and empowering Nigerians, especially women with the required education, would make a difference in the country's fight against malnutrition.
Nutrition experts in the ministry have told me that at least 50%, probably even 60% of malnutrition in Nigeria is due to ignorance.
The kind of encouragement and support we are getting from you and the due recognition is really very encouraging.
Participants at the meeting applauded the initiative on the advocacy for the prevention and treatment of severe acute malnutrition (SAM) in Nigeria. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
Herbs gotten from roots and plants used to be the go-to pharmacy for our forefathers in the treatment of common ailments, talking about where there is no doctor. And if you are a traditional medicine enthusiast, worry not, as those nature's gifts to humanity have been simplified and documented into 3 different books, which were presented to the public in Abuja. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim was there and tells us more.
The rise in demand for herbal medicines as cure or therapy for common ailments necessitated these reference books to serve as guide for alternative medicine enthusiasts. And the federal government, through the Ministry of Health, says it is strengthening its institutions to give more support to alternative medicines.
The federal government supports researchers and all stakeholders in the various fields of healthcare, including traditional, complementary, and alternative medicine.
The ministry has taken giant steps towards the promotion, development, and institutionalization of traditional, complementary, and alternative medicine practices in the country.
We should therefore congratulate the author for this great feat and call on Nigerians to purchase copies and use them at home.
It is also a gathering of medical experts to appraise the 3 books, which comes from 2 decades of research by renowned alternative medicine practitioner, pharmacist Zainab Sharif.
My deliberate attempt to in this book is to begin to look at the area of conservation and preservation. We must conserve our medicinal plants for the yet unborn that are coming.
The books: Common Medicinal Plants in Nigeria, Medicinal Plant First Aid Kit, and The Kitchen Spice Rack, Healing Recipes and Herbal Therapy for Common Ailments, provide a deeper understanding for health professionals as well as families to explore health benefit of plant in management of ailments. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
In another development, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has discovered the presence of substances in the part-flavored drink samples that led to a strange disease and loss of lives in Kano State. Director General of the agency, Mojishola Adeyeye, disclosed this while presenting a preliminary report on the investigations being carried out. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
Many health facilities within and around Kano metropolis have in the last few weeks witnessed mass admission of patients who took ill following the consumption of some flavored drinks. Others were taken to the hospitals for consuming foods prepared with packaged strict acid mixtures. The incident led to the death of some of the patients and devastated many others. This prompted the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to commence investigation into the matter.
We tested this white granular powder that came in the 25-kilo bag that is not labeled, and we found out that it is hydroxylamine sulfate. It is a poison, and that we just to not to take too long. Hydroxylamine sulfate can cause lightheadedness, tingling, respiratory and gastrointestinal irritation. High levels of this substance can reduce blood's ability to transport oxygen.
The Director General told Governor Ganduje that a new reference laboratory is to be established in Kano to ease analysis of samples. Governor Ganduje, while assuring of continued support and cooperation, told the DG that the State Consumer Protection Council has been strengthened to carry out its mandate. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
The legislature, as a coordinate arm of government, gave needed support to the executive to mitigate the impact of the coronavirus pandemic on all fronts. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, says efforts should be taken a notch higher, going by developments surrounding global distribution of vaccines. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports on the unveiling of a report on a research jointly conducted by the National Assembly and the Westminster Foundation for Democracy on the legislative response on COVID-19.
Legislative responses to COVID-19 in Nigeria, a study into the effect and response to COVID-19 by Nigeria's legislature and lessons learned, is the subject of this research work, providing insights into the coping mechanisms adopted to ensure the legislature discharges its functions of providing support to the executive, especially during emergencies. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, urges deeper reflection and stresses the need for further legislative intervention to enable Nigeria be fully prepared for the future.
Nigeria has the capacity in terms of the human resources to some extent, even though we have lost many of our good ones to the developed world. But some of them are very patriotic. They still want us to have our own vaccine developed. And this means that we have to provide resources for setting up the environment for our scientists to collaborate with international agencies.
The speakers asked the event were in agreement that the legislature should be strengthened for long-term goals.
The Parliament plays a key role in oversighting the implementation of existing policies and legal instruments which will be used to reposition the entire health system in the country.
During the pandemic period or a state of emergency, the world was totally concerned that there should not be a reversal of democracy.
The painstaking effort involved in putting together this research material unearthed the best legislative adaptive strategies and practices to meet the COVID-19 and similar challenges in future.
E-Parliament, the report recommends, will provide more ease in legislative work. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Let's take you to Akure now. Fears are now being expressed on management and treatment of COVID-19 in Ondo State as a result of the ongoing strike by medical doctors. Doris Olumoko, who visited the infectious disease hospital Akure, reports that all the patients at the isolation center have been discharged to manage the infection at home.
Ondo State recorded its first case of COVID-19 about a year ago, precisely on the 3rd of April 2020. Since then, this infectious disease hospital, Akure, has served as isolation center for the treatment of the over 3,000 cases reported in the state so far. But as it is today, the isolation center itself is isolated.
The doctors are not around, they are going to admit patients, then we are to care as a nurse. Majority of the patients are in the towns, going about with all other people.
All doctors in Ondo State, including resident doctors and consultants, have been on strike for over 1 month in protest against payment of 50% November 2020 salary and non-payment of several allowances. Consequent upon this, all patients, including those in isolation centers, were told to go home and manage their situations from home.
The way the system already structured the issue of home-based care from the national make it easy for not every patient to be in the hospital, at least those that are symptomatic or probably have comorbid illness, and we believe that their condition may get deteriorated more than what we are expecting, so be moved to the hospital. Majority are at their own base for management. We are visiting them.
Samson Ojo, the ambulance driver who contracted COVID-19 during the first wave, was among the over 2,000 patients of COVID-19 that have been treated and discharged from the isolation center. Residents of Ondo State expressed the hope that the strike by doctors will be resolved on time to save a resurgence of COVID-19 in the state. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
Thank you, Doris, for that. Now, beast of burden and man in the tussle for right of way and the resultant effects. Where is this playing out? Find out this and the amazing rare history that is linked to Lagos urban forest. When we return from this next break, we're about to take.
Son, being good at something requires strength. It requires putting in more. That's why the new improved Bonvita is packed with vitality and a richer, creamier taste.
This looks different.
It is. See for yourself.
Okay, so it's a photo.
Look closer. Photos within photos.
What about video?
8K video. Beyond cinema quality.
So
you can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
One passenger, big auntie. Come and enter my bus now.
Hey, conductor, this cough is serious. I beg, you need to go to the hospital.
Hospital? Auntie, if I go hospital now with this cough, those people will just say I have COVID-19.
No, they won't. Doctors say cough symptoms are different in every condition. Some are dry, others are wet, like your own.
God bless you, auntie. I have told this my conductor. The cough has refused to go, and it could be tuberculosis.
Conductor, check am o. Make you dey sure, because who no go, no go, no.
Check that cough for tuberculosis.
Check am o, make you dey sure.
If your cough is more than 2 weeks, it could be tuberculosis. TB test and TB treatment are free. Just call the National TB Hotline on 3340 for information on where to get the test. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Health with support from the American people.
Every day, he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day, he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day, he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, and gets back home. Every day, he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, gets back home, and helps his mum. Phew! That's why every day he needs his cup of Milo, packed with the nutritious goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa. Milo, the energy to go further.
From Nestle.
Special family moments with your love. Celebrate these delicious moments with Indomie noodles. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
developing the nation's human resource.
Mommy is back!
Guess what's inside?
Chocolate. Biscuit.
Our new toothpaste, Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Why are we changing our toothpaste?
Because with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, I can be sure your teeth are cavity-free.
Cavity? What cavity?
Let me show you.
Most toothaches are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavity.
It also has natural mint for minty fresh breath every day.
Mom, can I eat chocolates now?
As long as you brush with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection.
Colgate is the world's most chosen toothpaste.
Colgate locks calcium in.
Keeps cavities out!
Recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
Great to have you back on News Extra. Latest United Nations report warns of severe economic downturn affecting development in Africa as Nigerian Stock Exchange all-share index dips by 0.57% amid negative market breadth. Let's join Musa Abubakar for more on business news. It's over to you, Musa.
Thank you, Fatima. The United Nations warns that the devastating socio-economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic will be felt for years to come unless smart investments in economic, societal and climate resilience is made to ensure a robust and sustainable recovery of the global economy. Latest World Economic Situation and Prospects report indicates the report shows that despite the relatively few number of cases compared to the number in other continents, the COVID-19 pandemic will continue to strongly impact living conditions and development progress in Africa. The crisis is already increasing unemployment, poverty and inequality. Most countries are facing enormous challenges to keep the pandemic under control and mobilize financial resources to support health systems, protect vulnerable groups, and support their recovery. After a contraction of 3.4% in 2020, Africa is projected to achieve a modest recovery, with regional GDP expanding by 3.4% in 2021. Nigeria's GDP is projected to expand by 1.5% in 2021 after a contraction of 3.5% in 2020. Yet tighter foreign exchange liquidity, mounting inflationary pressures, and subdued domestic demand cloud the medium-term outlook. Now, equities market closed today on a negative note as investors lose 116.14 billion naira. NSE all-share index depreciated by 0.57% to close at 39,045.13 basis points, a market capitalization at 20.4 trillion naira. 347.1 million shares worth 2.8 billion naira were traded in 3,990 deals. Wema Bank topped the chart for the most active shares, followed by UBN and Zenith Bank. That's business news. It's over to you, Fatima.
Thank you so much, Musa, for that. Now, following allegations of bribery and extortion for national identity number registration, Adamu Sunday was at the Commission's head office in Kaduna and brings back this report.
Unlike the situation in this office a couple of weeks ago, the number of persons seeking for new registration is far less now. So also the rush to get registered. Even with that, some of those who are yet to register are not having it seamless. I met Daniel Williams, who told me he spent more than 6 weeks trying to get registered but could not until someone introduced him to a friend who referred him to a staff of the commission.
There is this connection that goes on between one man who directed us to Secretariat, because that's where I did mine. So he just collected some few tokens from me, that's all. It was 2.5.
Saratu Baba Adamu and Shamsuddin Samaila alleged that they also paid a fee for the registration form, which should be free of charge.
I just paid for the form outside.
My efforts to get the reaction of the Kaduna Zonal Coordinator on the alleged extortion or bribe by his staff did not yield any result, as I was told he was not on seat. In Kaduna, Adamu Sunday, NTA News.
And our smugglers continue to get more tactical and sophisticated in their nefarious activities. Law enforcement agencies are demonstrating that they are miles ahead of their antics. This high level of intelligence gathering played out when the Nigeria Customs Strike Force Team, Zone A in Lagos, raided smugglers' hideouts, which culminated into the seizure of vehicles loaded with rice in areas least expected. Michael Olale reports.
Perspective, one can easily conclude that these vehicles have no sign of contravening any rules or regulations. But beyond the exterior are bags of rice loaded into various compartments. Even the tires are not spared.
2 or more bags must have been emptied into this tank.
Little wonder, the customs described them as wonder vehicles simply because more than 20 bags are usually squeezed into each.
It's not only showing desperation of rice smugglers. It is, to me, a demonstration of moral depravity, where human beings do not care about the lives of others.
These represent just a few of the 823 bags of foreign rice smuggled into the country, aside from 180 cartons of basmati rice and other items in this container recovered from a warehouse. Of special reference is this container loaded with 280 bales of second-hand clothing, which the Customs Strike Force team described as being stolen simply because the goods evaded necessary customs levies and was abandoned by the truck driver at Mile 2 after an intensive chase. Worried by how the container exited the port without clearance is guiding the customs to take a position on barge operations.
Use of badges should be discouraged because there's no control. But, you know, somebody who wants your thing is more intelligent than you. But we have to redouble effort to get this thing. If not so, only God knows how many of such have gone. But for this is enough financial loss to them.
Also intercepted are 45 pallets of printed label materials falsely declared to escape payments of 20% duty, while 1,620 pieces of used tires formed part of the seizure, which the customs said has generated 1 billion naira from demand notice in the first quarter of the year. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
And back in Abuja, the National Assembly is committed to ensuring that Nigerians are not shortchanged by contractors handling road maintenance projects across the country. The committee gave this assurance after inspecting some roads in Ogun and Lagos states executed at more than 200 million naira under the COVID-19 Special Intervention Disbursement. National Assembly correspondent Vivian Idepefo reports.
The inspection tour took the Senate Committee on FEMA to some road maintenance projects being undertaken by the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency under the COVID-19 Special Intervention Funds disbursement and direct labor in Lagos and Ogun states. These include 1 kilometer stretch on Bank Anthony Road, 3 kilometers of Jibowu Ikorodu Road, and 1 kilometer stretch of Old Abeokuta Road, Agege through the Penn Cinema. 1.5 kilometer stretch of the Costain Orile Igomu Road through Eric Moore caught the attention of lawmakers as it served as the alternative route during the closure of the Third Mainland Bridge for repairs. This road, the senators learned, has not had any form of service in the last 30 years.
We are doing it because of the livelihood of our people.
Exactly, sir.
Has it succeeded in bringing, succor to pedestrians and motorists?
Exactly.
The lawmakers focused attention on the quality of work done and insisted on provision of drainage system to guarantee the durability of the roads. The committee members appeared satisfied with prioritization of the road maintenance projects.
The jobs and the selection of projects is very apt. The impact on the society looks good, and of course the quality of work also looks good.
Most of these roads are bad, and with the intervention of FEMA, we'll be able to make them good.
The Senate committee also noted some of the challenges of FEMA, which include paucity of funds, and expressed commitment for an effective oversight of the agency for quality service delivery. From Lagos, Vivian Idekpefo, NTA News.
Vivian Idepefo in Lagos there. Now we head to Dutse. The next story may sound unusual. Yes, unusual because camels are having the right of ways on some major federal and state highways in Jigawa State, posing serious danger to motorists plying those roads. Let's link up with Mansur Aliyu Hassan in Dutse, who will tell us how.
The presence of stray animals, camels in particular, along major roads and highways is becoming a source of growing concern for motorists, especially in Jigawa and other neighboring states. Motorists describe these roaming animals as threats to the lives of anyone plying such roads, as the warning signs that animals may be passing through the area are not visible in the night, while many of the animals wander without any guide.
Really, there are a lot of times when I had to stop for them to pass before I can drive on.
There were some women who met on with a ghastly accident along Dutse Gumen Road because some camels crossed their way as they were passing by some certain location in Gumel Emirate. I think there was almost 2 to 3 women got killed.
He also noted that it is the responsibility of such animal owners to ensure that their livestock do not stray on the road and public places.
We can see the accidents sometimes. Even last week when I was going to Kapung Hausa, I can see the accident per day, but the camel can cause the accident.
An unnecessary movement of camels across Jigawa State and of course other states is something that need to be put into consideration, considering the fact that they are causing a lot of cases of rampant accident. A lot of lives has been claimed as a result of this unnecessary movement of camels in places like Jigawa.
Community leaders also have responsibility to make sure that at any time they see a group of animals crossing the road, they talk to the owners to make sure that they don't cause any problem either within their environment or while they are leading them along the major highways.
The appeal here is for camel owners to refrain from such acts and find alternative routes for their livestock. In Dutse, Mansur Aliyu Hassan, NTA News.
Really sad, man, sir. Now, the unregulated activities of transport operators, particularly commercial motorcyclists and tricyclists in Osun, resulted to the infiltration by hoodlums and undesirable elements. This has forced the government to sanitize their operations. Henceforth, every operator must obtain a unique code of identity before operating in the state. Joshua Ogunjide has the details.
The use of motorbikes and tricycles in the transportation sector of the nation's economy has become so popular that it has brought in unlicensed and unskilled young Nigerians into the business, and more worrisome is the level of criminality by some operators. The increasing security breaches in Osun State in recent past, such as kidnapping, armed robbery, and cultism, have all been traced to operators of these means of transportation. This is why the Osun State government introduced Rider's Unique Code, which will be printed on the rider's jacket in addition to an identity card. The scheme is designed to weed out undesirable elements, among them for safety and security of commuters and residents alike. The state government will make the portal accessible to top security operatives, FRSC, and other road traffic enforcement agencies for monitoring and total compliance.
Who refuse to wear the jacket, they are the sanction. 1, they will not allow to operate, and the security men will be catch them.
In Oshogbo, Joshua Ogunjide, NTA News.
So far, so good. We take another breather at this point, and when News Extra returns, you will get to know about the latest step taken by the Nigerian immigration to ensure that immigrant employees do not shortchange the country. Join us again.
Go TV don't do am again, no. Then stand by your side, gidigba. Enjoy 32% discount on top Go TV Max. Yes, so if you pay Go TV Jolly for only 2,460 naira, now so Go TV go upgrade you sharply to max levels with 75 plus channels. Abracadabra. I go talk am again. When you reconnect on top Jolly subscription for 2,460 naira, then go summer you with Oga of Entertainment. Go TV Max. Make you enjoy Indian series for Star Life, La Liga, Premier League football, Big Brother Niger highlights on Africa Magic, Nigerian Idol, BET, Cartoon Network, and etc. Better discount, better savings. Go TV truly there your side, oh. Existing Max customers as at first March, not follow for this offer, oh. Terms and conditions day. Go TV, love it.
We just heard gunshots, not of the advanced position.
This enemy is not fighting a conventional war.
Our intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance platform will point the army to their location.
We're being deployed to the trouble spot.
We have been covered in the air.
And what's the situation?
The enemy is still out there, and the nation is counting on us. And I am counting on you guys. This does not smell good.
I saw his jet go down, but I didn't spot him eject.
I'll just like for you both to make me a promise.
Hey, we don't need this energy.
Here, we stand for our men, while our husbands stand for our nation.
Eagle Wings, showing in a cinema near you.
My name is Chikwe Ihakwazu. I lead the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. I'm extremely privileged to have gotten this vaccine today. Really, I accept it really on behalf of all the healthcare workers, public health workers. I've really spent the last 12 months working so incredibly hard on this response. And I think it provides hope. You know, this vaccine really provides us an opportunity to reinvigorate ourselves as we sustain the response in Nigeria. So this vaccine provides us a real shot at life. But, you know, that shot will come into effect when we have most of the population vaccinated. We have to keep washing our hands, wearing our masks, keeping apart from each other until we have enough people vaccinated in the country. And I'm sure we'll get there.
welcome back to News Extra. Lagos is to switch on fully to digital broadcasting come 29th April 2021. And if what the National Broadcasting Commission NBC says is anything to go by, then all transmitters for analog broadcasting will be switched off across the country within 5 months after the commencement of the full digitization. Amaka O reports.
The upgrade of Lagos State in the coming weeks necessitated the interaction among industry players for proper understanding of the benefits of transition to digital broadcasting. Acting Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Professor Armstrong Idacheba, disclosed that adequate infrastructure have been put in place with boxes that are cost-effective, as licenses for network channels have been reduced from 500 million naira to 250 million naira for a period of 5 years.
The signal distributors have the capacity to cover the whole of Lagos from the day that we switch on. So once the signal is available and we have the channels, we have licensed more than 150 TV channels that are willing to come on board. So we have the signal, you have the content. Perhaps what remains is the decoder, the boxes. And the manufacturers have assured that they will be able to match the demand for the boxes.
Other stakeholders and members of the NBC team say 13 companies have also been licensed to produce digital boxes to meet the far-reaching demand, as Lagos would have over 60 channels.
The objective is to first vacate the analog, which is more or less like a waste of frequency. Use one frequency to broadcast all the channel in Lagos, as it is, or anywhere else, So, and the government can then monetize that frequency, which runs to, billions of dollars.
With the sighting of the national and state head in Lekki, Ikorodu, and NTA Channel 10 Tejuo show, both stations of the Nigerian Television Authority assure their viewers of adequate preparations.
NTA has already got the quality, because quality is a product of the kind of technology you are adopting, you are using. All right? So it is a function of digital cameras. It's a function of digital mixers and switchers. It's a function of editing systems that are modern and digital. So if you have all this, it means you can be able to evacuate digital signal or digital quality audio and video to your distributor. And that's it.
The acting DG paid us a visit on a facility tour about a week or two ago, and he certified us ready to go.
So far, 650,000 boxes have been activated out of the 750,000 boxes issued in the first phase of the digital switchover in 6 locations. The objective is to switch over 18 million television households in Nigeria. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And as part of a broader strategy to combat crime and boost the internal security architecture of the country, the Nigeria Police Force has inaugurated a community-based radio station on 99.1 frequency modulation to enhance police-community relations, intelligence gathering, and real-time feedback. Francis Fom reports.
This is the only radio that can guarantee you the facts as they are.
That was the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, live on the Nigeria Police Force radio platform. Coming at a time when there are increased threats to national security, Malam Garba Shehu says the initiative will improve channels for disseminating verifiable information.
The sense I have is that when people listen to all of the other radio stations, they will tune to the police radio in order to confirm, to have a confirmation of what they have heard elsewhere.
The Deputy President of the Senate, who was represented and the Chairman Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, as well as other stakeholders from the information and security sector, urged management of the news station to be professional and discharge their duties with patriotism.
I am hopeful that this radio station will bridge the information gap required to improve security and policing.
We are committed to support professionalizing and reforming the Nigerian police to deliver
on the mandate of our leader, the President of the Federal Republic, on security, which is very crucial.
It will surely promote the reputation and image of the Nigerian police. I expect this giant stride to deepen the professionalization of information management in the country.
Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu underscored the importance of the radio station, describing it as an integral arm of community policing and appealed for community participation.
It will also air phone-in programs to involve the citizens in the security of their localities, especially on ways to spot and report crimes and other necessary steps to take in the event of crime or security emergency.
And so, the Nigeria Police Force begins its broadcast of hope, targeting communities, deepening trust, and scaling up potential real-time intelligence in the intricate web to crack down on crime in Nigeria. Francis from NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government projected the Housing for All policy with a target of achieving this feat in the year 2025 as a way of bridging the housing deficit among low and medium income earners in the country. But with the recent reality characterized by unstable hike in price of building materials, how achievable is this policy for the common man? Olajide Bello sought to find answers to what seems to be a mirage.
The federal government in December 2020 announced that 300,000 homes will be constructed across Nigeria for low and medium income earners under its National Social Housing Program. This is to complement the formal launch of the new medium-term National Development Plans 2021 to 2025 by President Muhammadu Buhari, tagged Agenda 2050. COVID-19 and plunging in and out of economic recession resulting into inflation has grossly affected the market value of building materials, as attested to by Latifat Bello, who is into sales of building materials. She runs us through the prices of cement, roofing sheets and nails, to mention a few.
The cement we have now, we have two types. We have Lafarge and Dangote. The prices of cement are going up presently. The prices between 3,500 and 4,000 naira. We have two types of zinc commonly available now. We have the one that is called imported, and that one is between 18,000 and 19,005 for a bundle.
Latifat calls for price control policy by the federal government to ensure stability in the economy and encouragement of local production of building materials. Solomon Adara, a clergyman, says his dream is to own a house he can call his own. But for a common man to build a house, it can only take the grace of God with the high price of building materials.
Presently now, the cost of building materials is so much. Sand is almost 10,000. And it's costly. If they have a free housing policy or a subsidized housing policy, they will go about the ways to be able to make sure that at least every working and responsible Nigerian is able to afford at least a medium, low-range building.
For Solomon's dreams to be realized, the federal government must redouble efforts to ensuring the aim of the Housing for All policy is strictly implemented and monitored to the letter. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
You said it all, Olajide. The Nigerian Immigration Service will henceforth share information of migrant employees in the country with the appropriate authorities to ensure that their taxes are obtained. The Controller General of Immigration, Mohammed Babandede, gave the indication during a media briefing in Abuja. Victor Azu has the report.
It is one thing for expatriate workers to be brought into the country to take up jobs that Nigerians should do. It's another that such migrant employees should change government by not paying taxes. This situation, the Comptroller General of Immigration says, must stop.
Expatriate working for short time, both short-time visitors and residents who earn income, they must share their income by paying tax with state revenue offices as well as federal inland revenue. Henceforth, renewal of resident permit must be accompanied by evidence of payment of tax.
This media briefing was also an opportunity to address the shortage of passport booklets, a challenge the Comptroller General says has been compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic, but one that the service is evolving strategies to overcome, part of which is Tuesday's inauguration of the Express Passport Processing Center in Maitama.
Nigeria is such countries where missions are close are holding a sped passport can now board an aircraft after applying to the CG for approval and clearance received. They can proceed to the airport for their onward journey to Nigeria. We are working tirelessly with CBN and the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to resolve the technical issues pertaining the smooth transition of domestication and also getting booklets.
The Nigeria Immigration Service also recently upgraded 4 border posts to command status as a way of improving border security. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
ECOWAS Vision 2050 is to create a borderless, peaceful, prosperous and cohesive region built on good governance, where people have the capacity to access and harness their enormous resources. This is a shared responsibility that the regional parliament is willing to pursue through its strategic plan. Onengi Fineface reports that this plan has been adopted at the ongoing first extraordinary session of the parliament in Freetown, Sierra Leone.
ECOWAS Parliament Strategic Plan is designed to provide direction in decision-making and allocation of resources to enable Parliament attain its goals. It provides guidance on the efficient and effective utilization of scarce resources and serves as the basis for monitoring and evaluation of the performance of Parliament.
We remain committed to the call for direct election of members to the ECOWAS Parliament. As one of the highlights of the strategic plan, I want to reiterate that call. Direct election by the people we serve creates a sense of responsibility in the leaders and makes them realize that they have been chosen by the people to perform in a patriotic and dedicated role.
President of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio, and President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassibru, want this plan to promote ECOWAS Vision 2050 by addressing critical concerns like ECOWAS single currency, trade liberalization scheme, common external tariff, among other issues.
Specifically, democracy, peace and security, to build a peaceful and stable region. Trade integration through consolidation of the free movement of persons and goods. Human capital development through capacity building of the health system, education, social development, promotion of youth, gender and employment.
The ECOWAS Parliament Strategic Plan 2020 to 2024 also identifies programs with themes and priority areas that would assist the Parliament in executing its mandate as defined by the Supplementary Act. Onengi Fineface, NTA News.
Let's talk sports. Football academies adding quality to the game in the country as another Nigerian athlete sails Tokyo Olympics qualification. Details on Sports Update.
Many thanks for joining us on Sports Update. I am Badi Adeleye. Fosla Academy Karushi are still relishing their victory in the football final of the National Principals Cup in Abuja after a first-half brace from Tukura Jewel gave them a 2-0 win over Christ Comprehensive School Kakuri on Tuesday. The champions of the Federal Capital Territory and North Central Zone scored 32 goals in 9 matches to emerge the pioneer winners of the rebranded annual tournament.
If you are hardworking and you are working towards your goal and you are having God next to you, that's why we came out the champions of this tournament.
Still talking academies, the recent signing of Nigeria's duo Adewale Oladoye and Chinonso Emeka has been described by football analysts as a pointer to the fact that football academies in Nigeria are beginning to get it right. Oladoye, a powerful defensive midfielder, and pacey striker Emeka, who are both 19, began their football careers at Abuja-based academy, Water FC.
This will actually get to open doors for other players because we know Water FC has been producing good players.
It's a great development for Nigerian football, and I think it's something we look forward to seeing how better they can really get to produce more players.
In the meantime, players of Nigeria's Super Eagles have been reacting to the 3-0 win over Lesotho on Tuesday in Lagos. Coach Gernot Roseman ended the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying campaign with 14 points out of possible 18.
I feel very happy for the country and for the goal. I'm very happy that we got a point and that we've qualified, so I'm happy for the game.
And finally, Grace Nwokocha has become the latest Nigerian to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics after racing to the top of the world's women's 100 meters list of top performances so far in 2021. The Port Harcourt-based sprinter set a new personal best of 11.09 seconds at Tuesday's AFN MOC Grand Prix. And that will be all on Sports Update. I am Badi Adeleye.
And from Sports Update to a quick check out Thursday's weather prospects.
Hello, this is what we expect Thursday's weather to look like across the country. Dry and dusty atmosphere is prevalent, although with improved visibility, as visibility range of 2 to 5 kilometers and 1 to 3 kilometers in dust haze is expected over the north and north-central region of the country, respectively. And to the southern cities, patches of clouds with haziness are anticipated in the morning. Pockets of thunderstorms are expected over parts of Calabar and the coastal parts of Bayelsa states later in the day. Please stay tuned for the temperature forecast. Thank you for watching.
Well, with that, we conclude News Extra for tonight. But before I go, here's a reminder. Be a star that you are and connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. And with that, we conclude News Extra for today. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Fatima Umar Buba. Do stay safe.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
I never get this kind of thing, or I hear it. Abuja Intra-Projects Agency then called me because we are partner with them. They say we should come. There is a survivor fund that the government wanted to give technicians.
They capture everybody, including food seller in my own workshop.
When my chairman called me that there is parity something, that I should come and take my cash off, the money now come, and that money helped me a lot. As a widow, where there is no husband. So it's this thing that I used to help myself, and that money helped me and pay some of my children's school fees.
You don't reach almost 40-something years back where I did for this Nigeria. I never get this kind of thing, or I hear it.
It is only this government, President Muhammadu Buhari, likewise advised that he recognize a mechanic.
Hello and welcome. It's time for another interesting package of
Everything Music.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call, I go come deliver.
This is Talking Movies.
In times of old,